We're going to demonstrate why good posture balancing is very important in walking. And we're using a rebounder for good circulation, lymphatic drainage. Seeing the seniors, although any young person can still benefit from this technique. I showed you how to use the 8 brocade. There's the Chinese Qigong exercises. They utilize energy for the cells in your body. Now we're going to show you the physical type of exercises that will improve your circulation and remove toxins in the body called lymphatic drainage. We're going to show you that you can do it indoors with a rebounder, and we're going to show you different techniques on that. My assistant will show you the different types of techniques and forms. This is exercises especially useful for people who have dementia or Alzheimer's, especially early to moderate, where you can get some chance of recovery. We're going to show you different things on how you can use the rebounder if you have a cane, or if you can't sit up, you can do it sitting down. Let's teach you how to walk properly. Balance structure. And we're going to show you different ways of using a balanced posture while walking on a rebounder. Walk briskly for 10 minutes. Then build up to 15 minutes and eventually to 20 minutes. That's the ideal time to walk. Pay attention to your posture balancing. Hold your head up high. Look forward about 15 to 20 feet in front of you. Don't look down for quarters. Keep your chin up parallel to the ground. Gently tighten your muscles. Tuck your pelvis under your torso. Position your feet parallel to each other if comfortable, and a shoulder width apart. And swing your arms in natural motion while you walk briskly. Start off walking 10 minutes a day, and then working up to 15 minutes, and then 20 minutes. Look at the benefits that you receive when walking with good posture. It alleviates depression and fatigue in the brain, increases attention and decision making. That's emotional. Halves risk of Alzheimer's. That's a jaw area. That limits chronic diseases in your neck, in the back. Lowers risk of heart disease in your chest. Improves blood pressure by 5 points in the chest. Works arms and shoulder muscles in chronic neck pain. Reduces lower back pain. Strengthens the leg, quads, hips, and hamstrings. Helps you with your colon for better digestion. Improves fitness and keeps the weight in check.
And I would like to introduce you to rebounding. I don't know if you've already bought a rebounder, or if you're thinking about buying one, or you're thinking about rebounding, you don't even know if rebounding is for you. Then I'd like to just kind of give you an overall introduction to rebounding, just some of the things, some of the benefits that you could receive from it potentially by doing it, and maybe a little bit about how to get started, some of the things you need to look out for when you start, and anything just to kind of get you going on it if you decide to do it. One of the first things that you want to think about with rebounding is what are the benefits of rebounding. One of the things that I think is probably the most important is the gentle movement that rebounding produces, and I'm talking about just this type of gentle movement. My feet aren't leaving the mat. It doesn't look like much, but what it's doing is it's circulating my lymph system. My lymphatic system is basically kind of like the garbage can of the body. It's all of the fluid that goes around your body, and it collects all the debris from the cells and helps to flush it out through the kidneys, through the lungs, through the liver, and through the skin. And so this type of gentle movement actually stimulates the flow of lymph. And what you're doing is helping all of those toxins to kind of hurry along in their flushing process. And so this is a very important part of rebounding. It doesn't look like much, but it's a really good movement for people who might not be feeling well. I mean, it's good for everybody, whether you're healthy or whether you're not well. But if you're not well, it's actually an excellent movement for maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes, just to kind of get on the rebounder and do this. And just with this gentle bouncing movement, create this, and it's a really gentle feeling. It really feels very soothing, very comforting. And in all honesty, when you do start out rebounding, I almost recommend that even if you're in really good shape, that you do start kind of this way, because what you don't realize is the impact that bouncing very hard right away has on your body. So just be aware that you want to start out very slowly. What I would recommend is that if you get a rebounder home and you haven't done it before, really the first probably 5 to 7 days, you don't want to spend more than 10 minutes bouncing on it, and a good few minutes doing just this kind of gentle bouncing like this. And I can increase the level of my bounce to just kind of have it be this kind of level, and then maybe, you know, a little bit more. But I wouldn't get into the really hard bouncing like this until you feel like you've given yourself a good week to acclimate. If you are, rebounding is excellent for the elderly, for people who have Alzheimer's, for people who may have been bedridden. Sometimes just having somebody sit on the rebounder and bounce up and down, they can still get that lymphatic massage. They don't even have to be able to stand up. And that's the beauty of the rebounder, because really it's for everybody. You know, you want to have, somebody can even be sitting on the holding onto the rebounder, and someone else can help them and help them get that gentle bouncing feeling. But this is such a healthful movement. I can't emphasize it enough. The main thing is, you know, you want to have fun, but you want to start out smart. You want to start out slowly. Some of the other benefits of rebounding are the gravitational force that you get when you're really bouncing. When you hit the bottom of the bounce and your body has to overcome that and send you back up. And when you're at the very top of the bounce, you're actually weightless for a second. And what that does, this whole movement of bouncing up and down, the combination of weightless and then the strong gravitational force at the bottom of the bounce, it actually stimulates all the cells in your body, and they actually get stimulated to become stronger. And by just the simple movement of jumping up and down, my entire body, every muscle in my body is being impacted because all the cells are being impacted. And what it really does is it creates this strength in your body. Even though I'm not doing push-ups, or I'm not doing sit-ups, and I'm not doing pull-ups or lifting weights, my entire body is getting stronger just by doing this. Or even running on it, creating this movement. My abdominal muscles are working. Everything. One of the things I noticed when I started is that a little bit of belly fat would jiggle, and within 5 or 10 minutes, it would stop jiggling. Everything gets tight. Your body pulls everything in tight. Your legs get tight, your rear end muscles get tight, your abdominals get tight, because it's holding you in while you bounce. So that's a really nice benefit, because you don't have to necessarily work all of those other muscle groups, and you get that advantage. So really overall, I can't recommend rebounding enough. It's fun, and it's a great health movement for people who want to have better health, and for people who want to be super fit. Runs the gamut. 9 years old to 99 years old, anybody can benefit from it. So, what are you waiting for?
You mentioned exercise. One of the best exercises that I've been getting over the course of this investigative report from different doctors and researchers is that you jump on a mini trampoline to stimulate your lymphatic system to help you detoxify. Talk about the lymphatic system. What is the lymphatic system?
Yeah, so the lymphatic system is something that I think people aren't as aware of as their lungs and their heart. The lymphatic system is basically, to some degree, an overflow valve for the body. So what happens is, we all know our heart pumps blood out to our distal extremities. They go from arteries, and the arteries go to capillaries, and then the capillaries. So most of the blood that pumps through your body, it's constantly pumping through your body, goes from arteries to capillaries and passes back into your heart through veins, and goes in this circuit through your heart and your lungs. There is some bleed off, okay, and that's what we call interstitial pressure in tissues. And there's some bleed off where fluid, and a lot of it has to do with osmotic forces. I don't know if you remember, people remember osmosis and basically tissue pressure gradients. And some of this fluid will bleed off into that interstitial pressure, because the pressure inside the vessels is greater than the pressure outside the vessels, and there's some bleed off, some loss of fluid. Well, that fluid doesn't jump back into your veins. It has to go somewhere. That's why some people get edema. They'll get swelling in their ankles and swelling in different parts of their bodies. Well, how does where does that fluid go? You know, does it just disappear? It goes into your lymph system. So your lymph system is a system of vessels. There's different components to it, but your lymph system is a system of, it's kind of like vessels. They don't have muscular walls like big arteries, but the lymph system grabs this fluid and then returns it back into the system, ultimately back into the venous system through a large duct in your chest called your thoracic duct. But this extra fluid that sort of bleeds out through these capillaries will then feed back into that system. It also passes through other parts of your body, including your spleen, okay? And that's also sort of considered part of your lymphatic system, your thymus, your tonsils and your adenoids, what a lot of people will have removed as a child. There's lymph tissue where there's lymphocytes, and those lymphocytes recognize pathogens, viruses, bacteria, or things that are considered non-self, and your body builds immunity through those lymphocytes, which is what's affected when someone has an immune deficiency disorder. Whether you believe in HIV virus or not, there's certainly immune deficiency disorders, and T4 cells and helper cells, different classes of cells are affected when the immune system falters, and those are the little soldiers that are facing these pathogens, these bacteria, these antigens, toxins even, as they pass through the lymphatic system, and sort of as a kind of like your oil filter, I guess. They're filtering out some of the nasty stuff. So the reason jumping on a trampoline is useful is because your lymphatic system, unlike other parts like your muscles in your heart or your skeletal muscle, it doesn't have its own muscle. It doesn't have a muscle wrapped around it. Like arteries have muscle around them. It's called the tunica media. It's what helps vascular changes. You can actually change the pressure by those muscles clamping down or letting go. Well, the lymphatic system doesn't have that ability, and so it depends on the skeletal muscles for that return. So by compressing your thighs, by just simply walking, you're actually pushing lymph through your body. It's sort of passively pushed through by the other muscles in your body. And so by hopping on a trampoline, you're basically forcing those muscles to contract, and you're helping that drainage. Instead of having it collect in your ankles, like you see people with swollen ankles, you're helping some of that return. And that's why when people start having problems with blood pressure and their heart, they sometimes will get swollen ankles, because that big pressure differential is pushing all that fluid out into their interstitial tissues, and their lymph system can't keep up, especially if they're sedentary. If they're sitting around, they're sick, their heart, they have congestive heart failure, and their heart has poor return, so they get dizzy quickly. They're not going to be able to get up and walk around to help push that lymph back into their venous system.
You need to remove infections from the body. That's the lymph glands function. And you can use the exercise we teach you called the lymphatic drainage technique exercise that will help you achieve that. You can improve your lymphatic drainage by bouncing up and down for 10 minutes lightly on a rebounder, and that will help you to remove some of the toxins that accumulated in the organs and tissues. Here are some signs of a clogged lymphatic system: painful period, bloating, irregular periods, heavy periods, missing periods, swollen glands, skin breakouts, eczema, fatigue, swollen tender breasts, cellulite, headaches, joint pain, allergies, constipation, diarrhea, and bloating. You're bouncing up and down on a rebounder very lightly. You are not lifting your feet off the rebounder. If you walk with a cane, you can still do these exercises. By moving your hand in different areas or your feet, that will direct the lymphatics to drain in that area. If you can't stand up, you only can sit down, you can still do that by sitting in the middle of the rebounder and bouncing up and down very gently.